Thank you. Thank you very much. You know what? When Elvis did that, it got to be this signature piece of material that all those fat Elvi guys in Las Vegas do as their impression. But when was the last time that you said thank you? When was the last time you wrote thank you? You know who wants to know besides me? Kelly Browne, the author of 101 Ways to Say Thank You. There had to have been a motivation for this.
There was. I found that when I got married that I spent so much time writing my thank you notes, and then when other people got married around me, their thank you notes were in ballpoint pen, they weren't gracious, or you didn't get a thank you note at all. And I thought, gosh, if somebody goes to the store and spends at least $100 to buy you a gift and takes the time and the emotion, you have a duty to sit down and spend a few minutes to write them a gracious note.
No, you're talking about actually handwriting. So the form thank you letter that I've been using, Dear Gift Giver.
Right.
We really appreciate the fact that you were as thoughtful and generous when you sent us and then fill in blank. But no, you don't do that?
Well, I did. What I did is I broke it down into occasions: weddings, babies, social occasions, business, sympathy, whatever you could think of. And I did model thank you notes that you could fill in the blanks, but were a little bit more emotional than a standard, just, form letter.
I'll tell you, I thought that this was a tremendously helpful book.
Thank you.
Because an awful lot of folks don't compose handwritten notes of any kind anymore. They email.
True.
Do people email thank you notes?
Well, I think that if your friend sends you a recipe, or if somebody that's your brother or your sister does something nice for you, and you want to dash off a quick email, that's one thing. But to take it a step further and to actually sit down and for just 1 second, put the date and write dear in a few sentences, it makes such a difference. Even if you just used a quote, if you can't take it from your heart, use a quote. There's tons of quotes in my book. There's so many inspirational sayings that you can copy and send as your own.
Haven't we forgotten how to do that, though? I mean, it used to be kind of standard. If you got something, or if there was a service or a product provided you, or somebody just was nice, it was kind of automatic. I mean, at least my mom and dad would always handwrite a thank you note. And people don't seem to do that very often anymore.
And it's so sad to me. It's a question of civility. We have to look at our lives and be grateful for what we have in our lives and the people we have in our lives. We're so lucky to have choices. And, on Saturday, I was at Vincent's on Camelback at their farmer's market, and he was so happy standing there making pizza. And here I am surrounded by my family, and they're so happy to be there. And I was grateful for the moment.
Did you send him a note?
No, but I'm going to now. I thought I couldn't walk over and hand him my book.
Vincent and LaVon watch every morning, and they want to know why they haven't heard from you.
Well, I'm going to now.
Okay. By the way, something comes up that is kind of a personal thing with me. I tend to write very, very fast. And so, therefore, my penmanship is of absolutely no importance whatsoever to me. I'm writing for me, or I'm writing for somebody to put it on teleprompter or something, right? Okay, well, now, if you're doing a handwritten note and you just simply don't have the neatest calligraphic handwriting, what about that?
Well, if you have to do it, you can do it on the computer and use a script font like Monotype Corsiva, and then sign it. If let's say you have a wedding and you have 200 thank you notes to write, you can still make each one personal and run it through your printer. It is not the first choice.
You know who's really grateful though now? You know who's going to send you a thank you note? Barnes and Noble.
Oh yes, Barnes and Noble.
Well, they're so thrilled that you're making these television appearances far in advance of your doing your book signing. Your book signing, wait just a second, hold on, is March the 25th?
Correct.
You did check the calendar, didn't you?
I did, but I love Phoenix.
This is February the 18th.
I know, and this is on the heels of Valentine's Day. And we also have to be grateful to our spouses and our partners and our families. And
Particularly
so I think
since they're
that's part of
watching
it.
right now.
Exactly, all my children. But it is at Desert Ridge next month, and I hope you'll have me back or on your radio show, because I hear you're fabulous.
Oh, you're absolutely right. I'll have to send you a thank you note,
I would
by the way, for
appreciate
making that observation.
No, you don't have to.
February, wait just a second. Hold
No,
on.
it's March 25th.
I haven't finished yet.
Oh, sorry.
Boy, I'm telling you, all of a sudden, when somebody expresses gratitude, they begin to take over. February the 18th is this date. Move ahead to March the 25th. Put a little circle, handwritten if you don't mind, handwritten circle around the date, March the 25th. And at 7 o'clock, Kelly Browne is going to be at Barnes & Noble, Desert Ridge, signing the books. Are you going to also speak to the people?
Absolutely. Absolutely. And any questions anybody has, I'm only too happy to answer
Okay,
them.
I have one.
Sure.
What do I write on? What about the stationery that I use?
Well, you definitely do not want to use Xerox paper. Forget that. You want to use something elegant. You know, it's an expression of who you are.
Mm-hmm.
And if you just send something sloppy, forget about it. It's, you know, it's you could, but I wouldn't. I would choose nice stationery. Crane's has a great selection of stationery, or go to the market, or go to Hallmark. There's so many great stationery choices out there. The point is that you send it. That is the key.
Okay, not my business letterhead.
Oh, no, that's okay if you want to write a business thank you note. Or if you have, you can also get little buck slips, we call them, in Hollywood. Little buck slips that have your name at the top, and you can dash off a little handwritten note. Dear Senator McCain, thank you so much for running for president. Something
See, now,
like that.
now we have to do equal time for Obama and Hillary.
Oh, okay. Well, he's an Arizonan, you know.
Listen, we've got less than a minute left. You were saying ballpoint pens, not
Oh,
the
no.
best choice in the world. Does that mean I have to buy a fountain pen? I don't know the
No.
last time I had a fountain pen in my
No,
house.
you don't have to do that. But there's lovely ink pens. That's a nice ink pen, or a gel pen, something that looks nice on the page. Just not something you got at, you know, your local cleaners just picked up. But, you know, it's something that shows that you gave thought to
sent a
it.
thank you note to my local cleaners for being so gracious.
Okay. Well, you know what I mean. It's,
101 ways to say thank you. Do you remember number 37?
no, sir, I don't.
You haven't committed that to memory.
Not number 37. I'll have to look that up. What
Well,
does
we
it
don't
say?
have time.
Okay.
But I'll tell you what, if you want to take the time, though, to go out to Desert Ridge on March the 25th, don't go the 25th of this month and stand in line when there's no lovely blonde lady there with a red book. March the 25th is when Kelly Browne appears at Desert Ridge Barnes & Noble, and you will say thank you, because you know what? Here, whenever Laura and I get a thank you note from a guest, you know what? It really does cause us to remember them. And so I would suggest that Kelly make a little mental note about sending us a thank you note so that we can invite her back, and then she'll be grateful all over again. It could be an ongoing kind of correspondence. 101 ways to say thank you. Notes of gratitude for all occasions. I hope you'll be grateful when you hear my commentary coming up next on The Pat McMahon Show.